Herr Mozart is here.
He's staying at my house.
Ah, now how did that come about?
You're the one with spies, my lady.
This newest piece of his.
He has only just composed that. How did you...
This is the Austrian reveler? Herr Mozart. The enfant terrible. Want to set the table on a roar?
His mother is dead. You two are acquainted, I gather.
He asked me to marry him when we were 8. Are you helping him?
Le Chevalier Blanc needs no help.
You're helping him.
He is too young for the post he seeks, and Paris is impossible.
He wants opera, of course.
Thanks to you, we now have Gluck, and I see no appetite for another German.
The way he's been treated is atrocious.
Absolutely.
I can't understand. Look at all the musical innovations from Mannheim. While Parisians can only speak of the Italians.
He has written already 30 symphonies.
Yeah, but how many of them do you really like?
Why are you here, Chevalier Blanc?
I need a job.
And I have secured you one.
A post? A Kapellmeister?
Organist at Versailles.
Ah, Versailles is not Paris.
6 months a year playing for the royal family, and 6 to do what you wish.
Pay?
2,000 livres.
Not enough.
It's more than generous.
You have no family to support.
How dare you?
Father, sisters, cost of getting them here. Father wants a job too.
There are hundreds of musicians who will want this post.
Well, then they can share it betwixt them, and la diddly fucking dee.
You can teach the royal children. You can travel.
I've played that organ. It's rubbish.
You were 8.
Oh, and I suppose you were there.
I heard you 2 years later.
At the Princess de Conti's tea party.
The first English tea party in France.
But there is a famous painting of that day, and there certainly aren't any black people in it.
How surprising.
Liberté. Égalité. Merde. Je m'appelle Captain Pierre Chaudereau de Laclos. And it has been another very long year. The end of a decade of revolution. These 3 people I know very well, and you do not. I'm sorry, but I'm French, and it is true. In other company, I might be more famous, but here, I'm merely a dramatic writer, military captain, strategist, observer, a secrétaire to the terreur du jour. Of course, I knew Joseph de Bellon, le Chevalier de Saint-Georges, much before he knew me. Tout le monde, all of us did, and none of you do. And that is why we are here.
Bien sûr, on y va tout de suite.
Which piece would you like to
The
play?
A major, your second sonata.
Yes, I believe I know
It's
it.
on your stand.
Right, so it is.
The very top question, 2-measure introduction, then a 4-measure phrase, but then 3 bars, then 3 again. It's asymmetric, and besides, it's terribly odd. Why?
Perhaps I'd like to keep you guessing.
Let's play. Quite unconventional. And now what? I play the theme again, first on my own. Where are you?
I'm about to come in.
Why are you not leading?
I don't wish to lead all the time.
It's a violin sonata.
It is a sonata for violin and keyboard. And you're quite good, Your Highness.
It's a solo piece with accompaniment.
It is a conversation.
You're supposed to have the tune.
I want the voices to be equal.
Oh, you don't like dominance.
I don't like power. Not over others.
Seems a shame.
Not in music, my lady.
What about in Versailles?
I want people to play these pieces, Your Highness. I
Please, call me Antoine.
I want the voices to enjoy each other. The violin is not to be the soloist every time it speaks.
We are the soloists. then.
We are also the spectators. Shall we?
All those double-dotted rhythms, very militaristic of you.
Perhaps.
Like you're sending us into war.
Someone has to do it.
Oh,
Get you sorted.
I think I'm going to be sick again.
Just lie down, monsieur.
Let us play a game. Let us play who am I going to be sick on first?
Now you're going to be just fine. Hold still. If I can get these fancy German
Be
buttons off.
gentle, Joseph.
A knife, please.
Come here. Come here. Closer. Let's come closer.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. A knife!
Oh, my goodness gracious. No, monsieur. No, not all over that dog.
Oh, madame, if you please.
It's okay. I'm fine. Really. Oh, I never liked Paris. Oh, thank you, but no, everything's much better now.
Look at me. You are alive and well, Herr Mozart.
Where am I alive and how am I well?
Paris. And in very safe accommodations, I can assure you that.
There are violins on the wall.
Yes.
And my mother is dead.
This has nothing to do with race. This is about control. They are aging songbirds. They want to rule the stage unfettered. They need a pushover on the podium. And you are much too powerful. Isn't it obvious?
I have embarrassed you.
I can't be seen to take your side in this, Joseph. We are too close. I must leave it to the king.
No. I will rescind my name. It is the only honorable course. Am I in danger? What? What is it?
Write your own opera. Of course. It's past time. Cast none of them. Take your half of the receipts. I will marshal the whole court for it. It will be the event of the decade. Reinvent yourself again.
With what story?
Indeed. I've just read Ernestine, the novella. It is perfect. You mustn't tell anyone, Chevalier. But it's here, tucked inside my prayer book. Those sermons are endless. It's been a lifeline. Here, just take it. It has everything. It's salacious, it's romantic, it's chivalrous. It's you, Joseph.
But who shall write the libretto? Monsieur.
Shh! I'm listening.
Monsieur Captain de la Clos, if I could just have a moment of your time.
I'm watching. Shut up!
Captain de la Clos, this is important.
Says who?
Le Chevalier de Saint-Georges, monsieur. Composer, fencer, and knight of the King's Royal Guard.
They all say that.
I am writing an opera and I wish you to be my librettist.
I write plays.
You have written a play, a single piece of exquisite craftsmanship, and you need another hit. Valmont.
I am not Valmont! Pourquoi est-ce si impossible à comprendre? Dangerous Liaisons is not a cunting autobiography, and I'll cut your cock off if you say it again! Merde. Let's get out of here.
Now look, we're both swordsmen, you and I.
The musketeers drink over there.
The protagonist is a captain like you, but not a philanderer. It's sexy, but not a bodice ripper.
What is it?
Ernestine, the Riccobini novel.
It is trash.
Then make it better.
How much?
What do you mean, how much?
You want that I work for you?
We will split half the receipts, 50-50.
The Paris Opera. Well, you can get a performance.
I can.
Are you aware that you're being watched, monsieur?
I'm sorry.
The registry. Blacks in France are being numbered. The slave trade is booming. War is coming.
What the hell are you talking about?
You wish to poke your head above the parapet?
I wish to compose an opera.
Two brawlers like us?
Don't flatter yourself.
And which side is it that you're on, exactly?
I'm sorry, are we speaking in code?
You attend Marie Antoinette in Versailles privately each and every week. Before the troubles begin, you will not only have to choose, but to make your choice emphatically known to certain others.
Wait, I called this meeting.
You also reside at Madame Montesson's mansion, do you not?
She pays me a small stipend, yes.
Oh, is that what we're calling it?
How dare you?
Your temper is too easily triggered, Chevalier. I am merely testing the gears for later. I'm actually trying to help you, believe it or not.
And why the fuck is that?
Why do you help Mozart? Why does the Queen help you? We will get into that another time. I will write your opera. It will take an appropriate amount of time. In the meanwhile, busy yourself with others and keep your profile where it is. And when the war comes, you will know which side you are on, n'est-ce pas?
I am no monarchist.
I would practice saying that if I were you.
You look terrible.
There was a small incident.
What happened?
Never you mind, I have something for you.
You've been to the opera,
Yes.
and I have a commission.
Yes.
What is it?
It's not an opera, per se.
It's not
More of a ballet.
a ballet.
Well, a pantomime.
What the hell is a pantomime?
Of a charming little story, actually, called Le Petit Rien.
Le Petit Rien. The Little Nothings? You promised me an opera.
I made no promises whatsoever.
Now I have to deal with mute fucking French farts mincing around, miming a story about shitty little nothings?
It's not as bad as it sounds.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Don't be crude.
And can you even hear yourself talking?
You will do it, and you will do it magnificently, or you will embarrass me.
I've started a new symphony. I like it. My 31st. I'm calling it Paris.
You don't say.
Please read it. I'm not asking you to program it. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Ah, another little nothing. Someone didn't come home last night. Did you get lucky?
Black and lucky aren't the best of friends. Chevalier Blanc.
Such a Don Juan, but with a beautiful heart.
Those days are somewhat behind me, I'm afraid.
No, a Don Juan, but dark on the inside, enduring on the outside. Oh, that's good. But in Italy. Ooh,
I have to leave. Here. I need to move somewhere else tonight, and I was thinking, actually, that we might play something together.
your piano's out of tune.
No, 2 violins.
You know I'm not good at feeling not good at things.
I've written something inspired by you, actually.
Go on.
A concerto for 2 soloists, not 1.
Who leads?
No one does.
Right, of course.
It would be an honor to hear this cadenza for the first time with you.
Mais bien sûr. On y va, Chevalier.
Joseph, just sit down.
No, thank you.
Who were they?
I don't know.
Do you know why? Will you tell me from the beginning?
I don't think
Please.
Very well. I was leaving a meeting at the opera on my way to the Palais Royal. I had just secured young Mozart a petite ballet and was feeling possibly a bit grand. I was even singing. The night was clear, the street was dark, but I felt so full of light. Then I heard a shot. It hit a tree maybe 3 feet from my left. I turned and was suddenly surrounded. It all happened quite fast. There were 5 of them, each with pistols. I couldn't make out their faces, but they were Frenchmen and no fan of either of ours, certainly.
What did you do?
I had my cane. Stupid, silly thing I started carrying since I joined the Masons.
You'd fought off 5 armed men with a stick?
Keep the bloody slaves where the fucking are, they said. I knew what that meant. They know I stand for abolishment and yet also paradoxically for the monarchy. And that is why this must be our last lesson. Why couldn't the king do it, Antoine?
He still has never made love to me.
What on earth?
Can you believe it?
But that means...
Joseph. He and I both tried to abolish it in our first years. But the money the islands bring to the crown is too great. I pushed and pushed. And I think I pushed him away.
And I suppose one couldn't just cut back just a little.
How dare you? The costs that we incur do not amount to a fraction.
You sure about that?
Joseph!
It hardly makes a difference.
You think that I have free will? That I can do as I choose? Snap my Austrian fingers and make it so? Do I, as a queen, daughter of the Empress of the Holy Roman Empire, the last of 15 children sprinkled like puppets in every royal family on this continent, do you think for a moment that I have anything remotely approaching free will? You may conspire with your new Republican friends to liberate others.
The last thing in the world I want is a civil war.
They all say that. You may think you are doing them well, and it may be that you are. Violence only enslaves in different ways.
You wish me to do nothing until I get mauled and killed.
Man is born free, and yet everywhere he is in chains.
Yes, I have read it.
Even Jean-Jacques Rousseau wishes he were a composer.
His music is awful.
Well, he doesn't write it himself. They all wish that they were you. Don't you see? We are mirages of free will, each of us. And so they will devour us because they cannot be us. But they do not have to devour you.
How do I reject a power I don't even feel I have?
Create. Express. Be the freedom within, not without. It is all we have in the face of terror. If you can't do that, mon chevalier, everything is changed.
I did write the opera. Not my finest work, admittedly, for it ran for a single glorious performance. The libretto was panned, yet the music was received well. I am sorry. Saint-Georges would go on to write another 5 operas, mostly lost. Having fallen in love with the theater, he would never compose instrumental music again. But he did find love, however fleetingly, and for once I was able to help. He became music director of the private theater of my patron, the Marquis Montalbert, and quickly fell in love with the Marquise, his lovely, much younger wife. Montalbert took me to the Isle of Aix for several months to help him build his quixotic military forts that he was convinced would save the king from an Austrian invasion. Thus, able to keep an eye on the Marquis, I did my level best to allow Saint-Georges a genuine love affair of his own for once, until they went and sired a bloody son, whose identity could not be ignored. Saint-Georges never knew his son, for he was killed as quickly as he was born. He survived yet another violent attack on his life, this time by the jealous Montalbert. Too smart to challenge the Chevalier to an honorable duel, he sent his friends and the Paris police in the dead of night. 5 white police officers hunting down a black man. He fought them off, of course. I then hastily arranged for Saint-Georges to go away for a little while to London, where he and the Prince of Wales tried to negotiate an end of slavery in France and the new United States for 2 very expensive years. But during those years, I found another master, one Philippe Égalité, the Duke of Orléans, the most powerful Frenchman outside the monarchy. And so it went that I was able to secure a new post for Saint-Georges in Paris, the leader of Le Concert Olympique at the Palais Royal, the center of Republican fervor in France. And from his perch at his new orchestra, he experienced his single greatest triumph as a conductor, commissioning 6 new symphonies from one Joseph Haydn, thereby almost single-handedly introducing him to Paris. Which ones, you may ask? Only numbers 82 to 87, my favorites. That was Saint-Georges. When the Bastille was stormed and the revolution began, Joseph committed body and soul to the new republic, becoming general of the first all-black regiment in European history, the Légion de Saint-Georges, fighting for the abolishment of slavery for a new France. His military successes notwithstanding, our hero was nonetheless an aristocrat, and the Red Terror found no reason at all, to put Saint-Georges in prison for 14 horrid months, rotting away, awaiting the guillotine. But he was released in the end, and true to his heart, he quickly sought to join the army again, the one that had betrayed him. But his moment had passed. He retired to the country to play his violin, and died. The revolution ended, and the year Napoleon's reign began. All of our 4 lives were to end alone, desperate and barren. Yet I like to think Saint-Georges fared the best of us all with his orchard and fiddle. The French have never truly celebrated Joseph, but perhaps we can. He was born on our side, after all, oft nicknamed l'Américain, a man whom none other than John Adams, on a visit to Paris, called in his journal the most accomplished man in Europe.